What is up, everyone? Welcome to my humble abode on a somewhat day in the life of John. So here we go. All right, you guys. So I normally wake up around 5:30, which is when the wifey has to go to work. So I work from home, so able to sleep in sometimes, like today. And got woken up by a mysterious doorbell ring by our friendly cameraman, Mr. Skyler. So let's start the day. Slept in a little bit. So first things first, I'm going to do my 30 minutes of cardio. Right now, that's what we have on our plan, being a certain amount of weeks out from a show. So we're going to do cardio, and then I'm going to make breakfast. And then we're going to go to one of my favorite coffee shops down the road that a great family owns. I believe they're from Colombia, and we're going to check them out. Get my coffee from there, and then come back, probably eat again, and then we're going to go train. So, you know, people are going to say, oh, well, it doesn't matter cardio before or after breakfast, and that is scientifically, it's true. It doesn't really make a difference, but I like it. I like the way it makes you feel. What I do is I drink maybe a little under a liter of water, and then I just go hit the treadmill and get things rolling. If I have a fat burner I need to take, then I will take it beforehand. I do take my Go pills, a fat burner that we offer. I do take my Go pills with my breakfast. So that one I take my breakfast, but any other type of fat burner I'll take before my cardio. So yeah, other than that, let's get to walking. All right, guys, so walking a little bit on the treadmill. Getting this fat burning started today. So this is normally where I come to my office, start my cardio burning day, and sort of gives me a chance to either catch up on any type of video that people put out, or old stuff I want to watch. I don't know, sometimes I get stuck into random stuff. I watched a documentary about Japan and samurai, and it was like hours and hours long, and you know, you burn through it so fast doing cardio and prep. I probably would never watch the full thing, but yeah, so I don't even know. Sometimes I want to watch conspiracy theory stuff because I think it's just, I don't know, it's a good time waster. So I don't believe the earth is flat, so I'm not a flat earther, but I think it is funny and interesting. So anyway, yep, another 30 minutes of this. I'll see you guys in a little bit. So I have about 70 grams of carbs allowed for my first meal, 75. I love Thomas English muffins for a specific reason. Some people buy Bays or the ones that, you know, whatever. I like Thomas. It's just, so the reason why is because my grandma came over from England, and when she married my grandpa. And so when they did that, they brought over a lot of culture and tradition from England. So I was having tea time when I was like 4 years old, drinking English black tea. And not only that, Thomas English muffins, a lot of English food, fish and chips. And so, but you know, the other thing was she would also feed us, like, this is when I'm like 7, 8 years old. Me and my brother, she'd feed us like a piece of salmon. And they didn't have a ton of money, but like they would go to the store and eat clean because, you know, in Europe, you know, and so, you know, salmon with a vegetable and like some potatoes or something. And then the next day would be like chicken with that and potatoes, and then maybe a little bit of steak one day, and using Worcestershire sauce and whatnot. And so it was, I look back on it and I was like, man, I was eating like a bodybuilder when I was like 7. So extremely thankful for grandma and grandpa for taking care of us. So that was a big part of growing up, learning how to eat properly. So today I'm going to be putting in my egg whites. And I think we videoed before. Hey Pippi. So I don't know if you want to take a look at Pippi. You're talking this morning. Hi baby. Hi baby. You talking? Want to say hi camera? No? Want to say hi Skylar? Okay, that's right. We won't talk to Skylar. So let's see, where was I? Yeah, so last time we filmed, I believe I was making egg whites with some eggs, sort of counted that way. And this time, I only get a single egg. What was that Tim Robinson skit where he's playing the egg game? And he's like, Tim, what are you playing? He's like, I don't know, I've never gotten this far. So, I've gotten as far as 1 egg left. So let's see here. Filling it up with my eggy whiteys. Beautiful. I used to freak my coworkers out. I don't know why. I would do egg whites and mix it with oatmeal. And they just thought it was like the grossest thing ever. I'm like, dude, you gotta eat what you gotta eat. I know, I'm gonna feed you. Hold on. So he's prepping me. Pippi, Mr. Pippo, who we rescued, he is prepping me for children one day. The constant need. All right, let me feed him really quick and I'll get back to you guys. All right, so, oh, don't sip. Don't sip. Say hi for the camera. Say, hey, what are we gonna do? He's so fluffy. He's so fluffy. Yeah. Okay. All right, so now we are cooking. And I've got, so anyway, back to macros. Kitty, Pippi interrupted my train of thought. So macros today, we are doing about 7 grams of fat, eggs around that. And we are doing 2 English muffins. So those each are like 1 gram of fat. The eggs about, I think, like 5 or 6. So that equals about our fat intake. And then egg whites, and then 1 egg to equal our protein amount. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all we got today. So obviously not that exciting. So if you need something that's low carbs and high fat, like maybe, I don't know, what would that be? More of a keto type diet? There's something actually, so my wifey is from Bosnia and she loves this chicken spread. And when I first saw it, I was like, what is that, tuna? And she's like, no, it's chicken spread and they put on everything. Well, their culture has like such good food. So every time I go over to her parents' house, and this is like a normal lunch. They'll have steaks, salmon, chicken, 2 different types of salad, lemonades and waters, all this stuff, and then different types of different pastries. Like I'm gonna mess up the name, so I'm not gonna try to say them. But there'll be like meat in a pastry or cheese in a pastry, and they roll it together, and it's so good. And they eat so healthy. They eat so well. I'm surprised more bodybuilders and stuff don't come out of there. I mean, they got some really good soccer players, but I'm surprised more bodybuilders haven't come out there just for the fact of how well they eat. Unfortunately, it could be expensive to eat as much as a bodybuilder, but they eat all clean food and they do it the right way. So it's interesting to see how other cultures, other than America, really eat food, because we look at cooking egg whites and eggs and stuff as like oh, this is the very healthy, way of life. Oh. But then you get other cultures and they just eat normal like that. They'll eat like rice and like an egg on top and like, and it's like, wow, like they're eating like bodybuilders. And then you realize bodybuilders are just trying to eat healthy, right? Because they're trying to absorb as much food and get as much tissue as we can. So we eliminate, the bad foods that we can't absorb, like fast foods and things like that with bad fats and whatnot. So it sort of puts it into a different perspective of like, oh yeah, we are just trying to do the right healthy thing. We just do it in like an excess sometimes. And eating 6 times a day isn't exactly normal as opposed to 2 or 3 times a day that they may eat. So yeah, it's just interesting. All right, guys, it says 0 calories per spray, but don't abuse it, I can't believe it's not butter. So I'll do a few sprays, and that gives it enough flavor to be good to go. Now, if I'm sitting there dousing things in it, you're gonna have some calories of some sort. So, as you can tell, I got some almond butter here. I like that Maranatha. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. But the crunchy almond butter is amazing. So I've got my 2 Thomas English muffins, a plate full of egg whites. I used a little bit of Crystal Light. So I don't know if it has that red dye that they're trying to get rid of, but it tastes really good. So that's why I use it. Right here I've got my multivitamins. I've got Go Pill Fat Burner. I've got about 2 grams of fish oil. I talked with Kurt Havens about this too, because I knew it, but I didn't quite understand it. The absorption rate of the DHA compared to the EPA in the omegas, how it's actually a hormonal thing, and men, sum it up, men absorb DHA much better. So I've got a high DHA omega, and then I've got a normal omega that's more balanced. And then I've got half of my Suppressor Max. Some people like to take it all at once, and you can because the ingredients we have in there allows you to do that. But I'm weird, and I like to do it with like 2 different meals. So yeah, other than that, just basic normal health stuff. I'm not taking any CoQ10 and K or vitamin K and stuff right now. I had my echocardiogram. I am 100% good to go. There is no, and I mean, I was like, I wouldn't believe if I wasn't looking at it. And I told the lady, I was like, look for hypertrophy in my left atrium, things like that. And she's like, you don't have any. So, and I didn't believe her until I saw it. She showed me. And my doctor ended up saying the same thing. And she was like, you need to thank your parents and stuff. So it just goes to show, the sport is different for everyone. And for anyone to, whether they're trying to sell supplements or whatever it is, go on there and say, you have to do this, this, this. I mean, there are preventative measures, but some people, no matter how many supplements you take, are going to end up in a spot where your body's in a tough position. Some people are going, no matter how little you take, are going to end up healthy as a whistle and live till 100. It is what it is. And unfortunately, the supplements do help control things, blood pressure and liver health and some things like that. However, at the end of the day, our genetics are our genetics. My advice is to never abuse anything, no matter what it is. I mean, you can die from too many red blood cells, right? So you can die from too much water. So never abuse anything. And you'll know you're abusing it when you're having bad side effects. You're not dumb. Don't be stupid. You know when you're abusing something. So don't abuse things. Just use them correctly. And if you don't end up like Ronnie Coleman and things like that, well, it just wasn't in your genetics. And that's something that a lot of people nowadays, I believe, because of a generation that got a lot of participation things and everyone was told they'd be a winner and everyone's on the same level. We're not all on the same level, right? We're not. Like, I'm never going to be Ronnie Coleman. I'm going to be the best version of myself, of John, that I can be. But we have to understand that people push things and they hurt themselves when they believe that we're all on the same level. We're not. There's no secret magic. Everyone's in the game doing the same thing. Some people just, react differently than others. So be smart about your health. Do take your supplements to help support things, but understand at the same time, you need to also be doing your health checks. Your calcium scores, your echocardiograms are a little expensive. That's why you don't have to do those all the time. I do them every now and then. But things like that, it's blood work, check your kidneys and liver. Watch your blood pressure is probably the most important one, watching your blood pressure. And just go from there. And you should be good to go and be able to participate in muscle building and some of these extreme sports for a long time and be fine. So, that's my little health rant for the day. And now it's time to eat some breakfast. All right, safety first. Got to put seatbelt on. Oh, Lord. So we are headed to my favorite coffee spot, Culata. And unfortunately right now, I can't do too much with creamers and stuff, so I don't even make them put flavoring in it. I'll just get a black coffee with their home Colombian brew, which is really good, and bring it back home, and I use a zero sugar, either a caramel or a hazelnut type of creamer, and maybe a little stevia if I need it. But other than that, that's just like my go-to. Sometimes I go there when I need a little bit stronger coffee, or sometimes I use my Nespresso thing at home where it makes it, by itself. But today, I definitely got a good sleep, and so I need to wake up, and we are headed to get a little bit stronger coffee this time. Came here for coffee, but you can see all the insane pastries they have. So this is a temptation every time I come in. I'm just testing myself. Make sure I stay on the diet. If I can make it through here without getting anything to eat, then the rest of the day is fine. It's easy.
What is the name?
John, John. All right, thank you. All right, so we've got our coffee. Skylar, our cameraman, he's got his coffee, a little espresso shot. So now it's back home. Chug this bad boy and make one more meal. Right, so obviously black coffee, and I have my zero creamer, zero added sugar. It does have a gram of fat and 1 gram of carb. I'm just gonna have to suffer and deal with it. So a little bit of a teaspoon right there, and we're good to go. And I'll mix that around. I don't know if I need a stevia today or Splenda, but I'll probably throw a little bit in there. But other than that, it's coffee time, so I'll let it chill, and then we'll probably eat one more meal, and we're gonna head straight to the gym. And today we have back. So last week we did 500 by 12 stiff leg, which I don't try to go heavy. You guys got to remember that there's a certain weight that I have to get to in order to really feel it. And that's because of my strength that I've developed over time. By the time I was 21, I was benching almost 500 natural. You can go back in USAPL and look at my results from. The cool thing about that is when you say it, there are records that I think it was like 472 by the time I was like 21, something like that, and paused. These were all in competition. So I'm not just making up these numbers, but I was on Team USA by the time I was 22. I medaled at the World Championships in Poland for Team USA. Squatted like 804 or 793, benched 5 something, and then pulled like, I think I just missed 700. I was so upset because I couldn't break that 700. It took me another year or two to break 700, and then I really flew past it. But yeah, so there's a certain amount of weight that my body can handle that if I do like, let's say 315 stiff legs, I'm not even getting any activation from that because, by the end of my powerlifting career, when I was 25, 26, I was pulling close to 900 in training. So my tendons and everything else, it sort of is used to that weight and can handle it. So when I'm doing a 500-pound stiff leg, it's not that difficult for me. Not trying to sound like a narcissist, like a jerk or whatever, like, oh, I'm the man. Like, no, it's just not that hard. I'm able to focus on the muscle growing part. But I would say 500 is about the weight where I start to work, right? Could I do 600? For sure. Could I do 700? Probably. But the risk of injury starts to increase as well. And, I see guys that are doing certain weights and, they're doing very high reps. They're doing very high weight intensity-wise. And I don't quite agree with that as a bodybuilder because the risk of injury is just too high, right? You lower the weight a little bit, put the reps in, and get to the point where you're really working the muscle and not just moving weight A to B. There's a difference of moving weight A to B. When I was powerlifting, we would move weight A to B. And it looks like, oh, you're gonna get big from that. But there's a complete difference of feeling when I'm doing 500 for 12 and I'm muscling it up as opposed to using perfect proper form and trying to move a weight, right? And doing a triple or a set of 5 or something, whatever, right? Putting on the volume with heavier weights definitely gets you a lot better results than just trying to, just push the intensity and do like a triple or something. Like that's fine. And, you will get stronger. 100% you will get stronger. It's good to throw them in every now and then, but to make that like always your goal, it's like, well, you're just powerlifting at that point. You're powerlifting for strength. So you're not really adding a lot of, we've got myofibrillar and sarcoplasmic. And so, you guys can, if you know what that is, you can look into it if you don't. And, there's certain ways of training to build those. And yeah, so today we'll probably skip deadlift since we did it last week. We don't want to kill ourselves. And focus a lot more on a squeeze and contraction, lower lats, and just keep building up from there. And next week we'll go back to deadlifts. It's not necessary that we have to do that every single week and destroy our bodies. So that's what we'll do today. Some of the things I don't have everything in here. A lot of my stuff is hidden away because wifey wants me to trash it. So, but I have a few things. So, other than where our families are from, overseas. But this most recent one, Toronto last year, this is from the World Championships. So this was in 2012. That was where I squatted like 800. I was like 21 or 22 years old. Team USA patch, just, our pass and stuff for the World Championships. And yeah, so just to prove I was there, to tell my grandkids, hey, your grandpa was strong at one point. And they'll be like, no, grandpa, you're feeling old and fat. You weren't strong. Well, yeah, I was. Anyway. All right, so on to meal number 2. And what we're doing here is our pre-workout meal. So our macros for pre-workout, working with Justin Harris, Troponin. We usually put carbohydrates when we're lower, put carbohydrates around workout time. We just need a little bit of energy and then we burn them off. So what we're gonna do is have about 75 grams of carbs for pre-workout meal, about 60 grams of protein worth of chicken. This one right here is for our cameraman Skylar. He's got about 50 grams of carbs worth of rice, protein, obviously a lean chicken breast. If you can see, this is all done now, but I cut off the fat, right? And most bodybuilders and stuff, we cut off the fat. So yeah, that's how that is. And other than that, now everything's just cooking up. And the sauce I am going to use today is normally a teriyaki, but today I have a G. Hughes sweet chili sauce. I know a lot of people like this one. It's hard to find in stores. Amazon has them. Like I said, 0 fat, 2 grams of carbs. So this one is pretty much my favorite G. Hughes sauce. I know there's a bunch like barbecue and all that stuff, but the sweet chili tastes absolutely amazing. So, yep, cooking up chicken. Skylar got his meal. We're gonna eat this, take our WTF, and then go hit a good back workout. Hopefully you guys enjoy that one. And we'll push it. Like I said, probably no deadlifts today, but we're still gonna go after it pretty hard. So, let's do it. All right, guys, so because the gym's just around the corner from us, we didn't really film anything, so nothing exciting. So we're here, Southside Barbell, where we always train, and let's get after it with chest. Cool, once again, starting warm up. So warm up our teres and our lats and our rhomboids and some of the stuff that connects into your sort of armpit area there that can get tight. We're gonna sort of loosen them up by doing our pull down movement first. So once again, we are doing a similar variation of the V grip, except we're a little bit wider. Sort of like a reverse pull down, but we're doing it sort of a hammer strength. I'm sorry, sort of like a hammer curl variation. It's gonna warm up with this, go pretty heavy on it for about 2 top sets, and moving on. All right, guys, look, we got field rations like always. So the product that everyone should be using when you're training, even athletes. So we've got our sodium, potassium, greater than a Gatorade, our EAAs and BCAAs, and our highly branched cyclic dextrin. So easily digestible if you guys want to do a little more research on highly branched cyclic dextrin. Justin Harris has a great video for our product online describing pretty much the way it absorbs and so on and so forth. I have prep brain. If I were to go into it right now, I'd sound like an idiot, more than I do already. So, that being said, I'm only doing 1 serving today based off my macros. So 20 grams of carbs, 25 grams of carbs, can't remember, 20 grams of carbs. And about, I think it was 10 grams of protein. So 25 grams of carbs, 10 grams of protein, I'm sorry. And I love this flavor, the orange pineapple. It's really light, it's not too heavy, and it digests well very quickly. So like I said, anyone who's training really needs to be using field rations or you're missing out, the one-stop shop. So that's what we're doing today. Oh, that was top set right there, that's top set. Really focused on lower lats pulling. You almost want to try to imagine biceps taken out of it, right? So I'm pulling down with my lats coming through. It really shouldn't be focused on bicep pulling. We shouldn't do that. So it's a little bit tough, mind muscle connection, but if you can get to that point, you'll be in a good spot with this movement. All right, guys, so next one, chest supported T-bar row, a little bit of thickness. We're gonna go upper handle, a little more rhomboid, a little more like upper trap. Since we just hit a movement which hit a little bit more of our lower lat, pretty much every movement we want to do during training hits something a little differently, right? So we're not doing 5 exercises that hit low lats, right? We're gonna hit one exercise hit lower lats, one exercise that hits more rhomboids and middle, another one hits upper, another one hits more of our teres and our upper lat. So each exercise we do is meant for a different purpose, so that you don't go, if you're planning your workout, don't go into something and be like, this machine, this machine, this machine, and all the time you're hitting your lower lats the whole time, or you're just hitting your upper lats pulling the whole time. Meanwhile, your lower lats are not getting hit. So always make sure that every machine or every movement you do is for a certain reason. You're targeting every part of the muscle group. Like for biceps, you pretty much have a hammer curl brachialis variation, or you're doing a variation for the inner head. There's not much to it, right? You have two heads plus the fucking brachialis, and so there's only so many movements you can do. But with back, there's so many different parts: lower lats, teres, rhomboids, upper lat, like middle, spinal erectors. There's so much in there that you have to make sure each exercise hits everything. So we're not leaving anything out. So we'll go slightly upper handle, not the lower one, the upper one, and we'll hit our reps, warming up. And we're gonna keep our chest on the bench and use only our back to pull. Warming up. All right, guys, so upper plate, this should be our top set. Feeling pretty decent today, but once it starts getting sloppy, we're not going up. So 4 plates should be good today. So try to hit our set, 8 to 10, and keep moving on. So here we go. So I was a liar, and I said 4 plates last time would be it, 425s. We're gonna do 5 now. So this machine hits a little differently because the weight is so far out, physics-wise. There's T-bar machines when the handle is up towards the top. Because of the physics, it's a little bit easier. It's further away from the lever, so it's a little bit easier. But because this one is closer and the weight's further out, makes it a little bit harder. So it's the same thing as if for every inch the deadlift is out from your shins, it becomes exponentially harder. This is basic physics. So this machine itself I do like because number one, you don't have to use as much weight and it's just as hard. And number two, it forces you to sort of, like you said, humble yourself and focus more on the actual, because if you load up, oh man, I usually do 5, 6, 7 plates. But you cannot do that on here. There's no one, maybe Ronnie could have, but no one else is doing that on here. So at least with proper form. If you are, you're just an egomaniac and you just want to show off for Instagram, which is cool. Some people do that. But yeah, so this will be a heavy top set. Was heavy. All right, so once again, we're getting our pullover machine, but in the meantime, what we're wanting to do is stretch the lats, stretch the teres, really grow those lats that you can pop on stage. And so what we're gonna do that is we're gonna isolate. So we've attached our little double hooks, double handles to our machine, and we're just gonna really try to focus on not using our biceps to pull. Squeeze at the bottom. And when you start getting tired, make sure not to bend your arms too much. Try to limit the bicep Oh, okay. Limit that bicep. If you start pulling a bicep, you go a little bit lower in weight. So top set, man, this one's pretty heavy. So I'm gonna do my best to maintain control. But yeah, so second set, top set, here we go. Guys, so last one, top set, and this is where we're supersetting with our pulls, and then supersetting with pull-up, squeeze at the top, and that's what we'll do right now. All right, okay. All right. Once again, we're running, dude. We're running. I'm running. I'm walking. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Give me 5. Oh man, okay. All right guys, that sort of wraps it up. Thanks for hanging out today, spending time with us. It means a lot. So if you made it to this part of the video, truly appreciate it. Just another day training hard. Glad you guys got to tag along. You know, when prep's kicking right now, but we're bigger than we were a couple months ago for our last shows, and we did pretty well in those. So looking very much forward to upcoming competition. So thanks for tagging along, guys. Like I said, make sure to check out TroponinSupplements.com like always. And we've got we just had a big Memorial Day sale, so hopefully you guys got on that. But if you didn't, there will be a few more coming up, July 4th, things like that. So make sure you guys check us out. If you need any intro workouts, pre-workouts, glucose disposal agents, liver health, kidney health. If you need us, we got it for you. Let us know at TroponinSupplements.com. We'll see you guys later.